This flu has me messed up. I've been stuck at home with the flu for the past 5 days, hence why there hasn't been any videos on my channel this week, because my body was like, hey, instead of working on videos this week, let's just lay in bed and cold sweat for 5 days straight. That's way more productive. You know, just laying there praying that it would go away like anytime, which it still hasn't quite gone away yet, unfortunately. Sadly, I still have a fever, but I do have a responsibility to upload videos to you guys and to keep giving my editor work. So here we are today, so please bear with the more fevered and congested version of myself that is in front of the camera today. But in today's video, I wanted to revisit the Onision situation because so much has happened since, what is it, like 3 weeks ago since I covered it last? So since then, the infamous court case happened, which if you've heard anything about that court case, it was an absolute dumpster fire. Ranging from the awkward elevator picture to the Kevlar vest he was wearing in court. This dude is so narcissistic that he actually thinks someone's gonna pull up to court and fire actual shots at him. Nah, dude, everything's verbal now. And then we go from that to the memes of him being accused as a predator, showing up to court in Adidas Predators. That happened as well, which I see that's definitely nitpicking, but it's a funny coincidence. And then the fact that he represented himself in court. Then finally, the icing of the cake. He sued the wrong Chris Hansen. Bravo. This could only happen when you represent yourself in court. Like, that's what happens when you represent yourself in court. You get outplayed by the lawyers. What? Like, representing yourself in court when you're not a lawyer is like betting on yourself to win some golf tournament when you've never played golf before. Like, it just does not make sense. So that in itself was a very odd day to see unfold on Twitter. And then after the court appearance, he probably uploaded like 50 or 60 videos onto his YouTube channel in the span of a day or so. Like, it was a very short time where he was just like with videos, like probably like once an hour or something like that. But what baffled me was he just rapid fired videos that were rapidly making his case worse and worse. For every video he uploaded, it got worse for him. So I don't know why he did that. I thought he said he was going to be taking other legal avenues. I thought that would, you know, mean, oh, he's finally getting a lawyer and he's gonna, like, you know, be a little bit more conservative with what he shows on the internet. But hey, that hasn't changed apparently. Then moving on to February 7th, Chris Hansen confirms the FBI is still involved and still is investigating this case.
And please know that no matter what noise comes out of Washington State, we are going to continue this very important investigation. I now know that the Pierce County Sheriff's Department is working through a very specific list of victims. The FBI, as we know, is involved in continuing to get to the bottom of the federal laws potentially broken in this case.
And now, as of recently, Chris Hansen interviewed Dr. Lisa Stroman, ex-FBI agent, lawyer, and psychologist, about what she thinks about the Onision situation.
Here's a guy who, just by watching his videos, you can tell that he's targeted, groomed, attacked verbally numerous people, young women, me, and yet he goes out and files for a personal protection order against me and another YouTube streamer, when arguably you could say it's the rest of the world who should be protected from Onision. What is his frame of mind in order to do something like this?
Well, to me, that's essentially just not understanding the law, right? I mean, the First Amendment is what protects him. It's what protects all of us, like going online. And there is a cultural norm and an expectation under morality and under legal terms of what we can and can't do on there. And I think that his violation of that and the breaking apart by others and teasing this apart is what is frustrating him. And I think that he's just being outsmarted by people who know the law. They understand what he did was wrong. And there is a plethora of documentation and videos that show all of his illegal actions.
Imagine how different everything would be if he just hired a lawyer. I mean, it would basically just delay the inevitable and most likely reduce the time he would have to serve if he was convicted for something. I'm just surprised the fact he has money and he's not hiring a lawyer for something that's so important in a person's life. But okay, yeah, whatever. But what does she think of all of these uploads and meltdowns on his YouTube channel as a psychologist?
After looking at some of these videos, Lisa, do you think that he's escalating, Onision? Do you think he's spinning out of control?
I definitely think he is. I mean, he's uploading at a faster rate. He's melting down. Again, I really can't tell the authenticity of it. The lack of tears and the lack of real emotion to me is either indicative of someone who would be a sociopath in nature, meaning that there really isn't a true emotion felt for the victims, and it's only focused inwardly on themselves and how it's impacting them. But the part that escalates to me that looks like he's escalating is the rapid amount of postings that he's doing, the level of fluctuation in mood, and then what I see very similar as somebody who's created either a murder or some sort of heinous crime who returns to that scene because they get by that behavior or to be around that situation is what I see his Onision character doing. He's going back into these forums and he's getting hyped up and accelerating and talking about hypothetical and things like that, and then saying, oh, that's not what happened, or I haven't done that. I don't like that behavior, in a lot of, I think professionals in this field would be very interested in looking to see why he's starting to talk in those ways, and whether or not he's starting to get more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I guess that kind of confirmed what I said earlier. Like, he's playing in a game he doesn't know how to play. He's not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Repsion isn't a lawyer. That's why Repsion hired a lawyer. But it just doesn't make sense at all. I'm dying. I'm sorry. Oh, these lights are really not helping my fever here. I also noticed when we watched his new video in the background, since he came onto camera saying he was like finished being on camera on his channel. I guess we'll see how long that will last. But the new, I guess the background footage of his new video, because I guess he just recorded audio, and the background footage was him drawing. He was drawing something like an edgy 12-year-old would draw. He was basically just drawing a massive stickman battle, which is definitely an interesting choice of background footage.
You see a parallel here between what Onision is doing and who goes back to the scene of the crime to relive this experience and essentially enjoy the trauma and fear that this person has caused. Is that fair?
I think that's exactly what's happening. I think that he's not able to let go. He said on several occasions that I could see, I'm done. I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to show my face anymore. And yet there's 10, 15, 20 more videos after that. So he can't leave it alone, and he can't just walk away. And so, for somebody like me who's in the public eye and you that's in the public eye, there's going to be people out there that don't always constantly agree with you, and either you take that in and you recapitulate that in your own mind and you focus on it, or you move on and say, all right, what I feel like I'm doing is good and I'm going to keep moving forward in my life. He's not able to do that. He keeps going back to that scene of that crime with these same victims and reliving it over and over again, and stirring and churning up all of this hurt and pain and hate, because that's what's fueling him.
So those are a few clips of the new Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. I'll be linking the rest of the interview down below in the description. It's safe to say that the situation is still escalating, and at this point, only time will really tell what happens. But thank you all for bearing with me and my illness right now. Hopefully, I'll be good to go again by either tomorrow or the next day, so I can go back to 3 to 4 videos a week. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and if you enjoyed the video, it'd be awesome if you dropped a like on it. If you're new here, I welcome you to my channel. It'll be awesome if you subscribe and hit those bell notifications. And if you want to follow me outside of YouTube, you can find me as Atozy on Instagram and Twitter. Links will be down in the description down below. But on that note, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna go, I don't know, take a bunch of medicine for my flu. My sick butt is going home.
I don't talk, I get it. Yeah, you know I'm about it. If it kill me, I'ma let it. Run into the bag like I'm so athletic. I've been up since 6, making hits like tennis. I've been on fire, I just need my credit. Wanna go far, need to change my settings. Reaching for the stars, on my feet touch heaven. Haven't had first, bitch, already want seconds. Wanna be on top, popping off like a fofo. Life been going fast, I've been trying not to go slow. I just hit the gas, now I'm faded, going slow-mo. You think you gon' pass, but you tripping, that's a no-go. But you know I'm scent got me spitting like it's so though. I was out in Europe, they done stopped me for some photos. I've been really working, I'm so tired of being broke though. I just want a couple, change my shawty like some rose gold. Different substances for the mindset, I wanna take me out of. I've been overthinking about popping just like a semi-auto. Always breaking bread with my team, no, don't wanna do shit without them. I'ma leave some bitch who's to feel like they some Balenciagas. I just wanna go put a condo up on your wrist. Take a shopping, might hit Toronto, I'm with my bitch. I've been taking flights different times zones from where I live. Chasing Benz, I won't be the Pablo.